Sweeney. You know, Carol,
Yes.
Alex and I were at a Boston Consulting Group event up in Boston recently. We were talking about AI, and in BCG, the folks in BCG were saying when all their clients are asking about AI, what is AI? How do I implement it in my business? Is it a threat? Is it an opportunity? And BCG's got a whole practice, as I'm sure McKinsey does and everybody else does, about AI and how companies should be thinking about it. But they start with the fundamental issue of, are you committed to implementing AI in a socially responsible way? If you're not committed to that, then you really need to rethink it.
And all I can say is, look at the social media experiment that we've lived in, and we are still trying to figure out how to police it in a safe and careful way. And so I don't know where we go with AI on this.
Yeah, it was just a whole nother way, prism, which to think about AI. Our next guest thinks about that stuff as well. Claudia Del Pozo, she's the founder of the EON Institute. Claudia, thanks so much for joining us. First, could you just tell us kind of what you guys do at the EON Institute and how you think about AI?
Sure. Hi, Paul. Hi, Carol. Nice to be here with you. So I'm the founder of EON Institute. We're a think tank, a women-led think tank based in Mexico City, where we seek to future-proof society. So what does that mean? We want to make sure that everyone understands these new technologies, including AI, to be able to make the most of them. And like you said, the main thing about AI is its responsible adoption. And I think that there's a lot of thought about, existential threats in AI. And while that is something we should be working about, what we focus on are the challenges right now. So, the loss of opportunities, the social harm that comes from AI, economic loss, and in some cases, loss of freedom and loss of life. So that's kind of what we're looking at and seeing how companies, organizations, governments can adopt it in a way that doesn't create or that mitigates those challenges.
And I should point out, for those who might not be familiar, Bloomberg has been doing this, their new economy program. It's called the Catalyst Program. They founded it back in 2021. And basically, they look for people who are innovating. They've done work. They've got objectives to make the world better. And so this is why we like to talk to someone like Claudia. So Claudia, how are you thinking about it differently? Because I do feel like there's lots of big guns who are looking at AI, trying to figure out how to do it responsibly. How are you doing it differently, or how are you finding the way forward in a safe way when it comes to AI?
Yeah, that's a great question. So first of all, we work in Latin America. So a lot of the big guns who are thinking about this are based in what we like to call the global north. So the US, Canada, the European Union. So we're looking at it from Latin America. And also the way we want to think about it is technology has become so complex that there's no one actor who can answer it. So we're kind of this neutral platform that brings together government, civil society, academia, big tech, SMEs, bring them all literally around a table to discuss how we can move forward in a sustainable way that makes sense for everyone. Because if one of those actors isn't on board, that is not going to happen. So that's how we're doing it.
But are the Googles of this world, are the folks that have all the data, the information, and forgive me for just singling out Google, but you could take Amazon, you could take all the big tech companies. I mean, everybody has so many data points. Are they part of this conversation with you guys?
Definitely, yeah. Yeah, the Latin American teams, and sometimes we'll work with the global teams, are part of this conversation. And the idea is not only... So there's two ways, right? What does this mean for Latin America when we're not, part of kind of the decision makers in AI of the world? How can we be part of that? What does it mean for us? But also, how can we make sure that the decisions that are being made at that kind of high level make sense for Latin America? So recently, I was at an event talking about kind of setting the agenda for the Paris AI Safety Summit and making sure that we included topics that wouldn't come to mind to people who aren't part of the global South. So that's kind of the two-way cycle that I'm trying to promote.
All right. Really appreciate it, Claudia. Thanks for joining us. Really important topic here. So we think about AI, the adoption of AI, the application of AI across a whole bunch of businesses. Claudia Del Pozo, founder of the EON Institute.